What is going on? You're listening to Your Neighbor's Garage, Season 3, the unofficial podcast of the 956. With your host, I am Big Motherfucking Fonz. With my co-hosts,
Go, Pancho.
Pancho the Rancho.
And it's just Gus.
and today we got a very special guest. We have Laredo's very own sweetheart.
Hi guys,
It's Cheryl.
Cheryl Lane Rodriguez. So, what is up, guys?
All right, let me fade this out real quick.
Fade it
Give me a
out.
second.
I hope y'all like
I
that
think we're
song.
the three luckiest guys in Laredo right now.
We're the
There we
three-
go. There we go.
yeah.
Let's fade it out. Fade it out.
Oh, let me give these to Cheryl. She wanted them.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet, man. Awesome.
So, welcome back.
Season
3.
Don't bang the fucking table.
I'm excited. Season
God damn
3. Your neighbor's garage. The first time in an actual garage.
Oh yeah, in
Okay?
Gus's garage.
And Gus's neighbor's garage. We are actually someone's neighbor's
This
garage.
is not my house.
So we're doing
JK,
good.
this is my house.
2 weeks we've been gone. We've been busy with our work schedules. We've been taking a break. But we're back. We promise not to leave you all. Okay, for 2 weeks.
We love you guys.
Alrighty. So how you been?
Dude, you know what? I
Yeah.
just for these 2 weeks that we took a break, it was cool because I've had a shitload of work and schoolwork and a bunch of different stuff going on in my life, but I miss, like I said, I don't go out obviously because it's quarantine. I don't do much, right? But I do get to see my two favorite co-hosts. So I miss seeing Pancho, I miss seeing Gus, I miss hanging out with them, I miss seeing Cheryl too. I haven't seen Cheryl.
Thank you.
I haven't seen Cheryl in a little
while.
while. But you know what? I'm just excited to give you guys a good fucking season. Better season, better guests, better content, better podcast.
Yeah. So we're actually planning out a guest schedule. Hopefully, if all goes well, next week we're gonna have on Louis G from Los Kid Brothers.
Oh, I'm ugly.
Yeah. The week after that, I'm gonna try to get on my homie Juan Reina.
Ow.
He's a local skater, and he's actually been producing a lot of really good videos, and he's been shouted out on the second largest skate magazine in the country.
Yes, we'll have to see
So
it.
we want to get his story, and after that, we have our homie sitting behind the camera who's kind of helping us with control. We're gonna try to
Ed
get
boy.
our homie Ed from Exusia Gaming on, because he's been doing some great stuff with his gaming streaming. And like his team, Exusia, has actually been doing really well. They have a lot of good sponsorships going. So we want to kind of get these people lined up and have them tell their story, basically.
Yes.
But for today, we're going to have Cheryl. And the topic of the interview today, Pancho, I don't know if you want to go ahead.
Take it away,
It's
Pancho.
moving outside of Laredo.
Woo.
I guess we've been wanting to have Cheryl since I guess the very beginning.
Yeah.
She's actually been like around the studio when we record. Last
I'd
time
be
she
very
was here.
offended if you guys did not include me, okay?
Yeah.
I'd be very offended.
So I think one of the big things, or one things that I guess Cheryl relates, or Cheryl's story is that she's moved outside of Laredo when she graduated high school. There's a huge amount of people in Laredo that do that. There's many that stay outside of Laredo after they graduate college, and there's many that come back.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you actually left your house at 18, right?
I did.
That's like the stereotypical, like you turn 18
See,
and
then
you're
you're
moving
out of your house.
I couldn't
Yes.
even tie my shoes at 18.
Yeah, no, but you did
You
what
just learned yesterday how to tie your shoes.
you did what everyone wants to do, everything that everybody's wanted since they were a little kid. Like, oh, I graduated high school, go to a big school, big college. So, Cheryl, what's your story? Wait, first of all, who are you?
Give us a little
Yeah, give us a
taste.
little
Who's
taste of
Cheryl?
That's
With
a
Cheryl?
big question.
I don't even know where to start. I feel like I'm so many things.
I'm still finding
I'm
myself.
still finding myself, guys. I'm a little lost. No. Well, I'd like to think that I'm a very social person. I love to meet people. I love to be out there. I don't have a judgmental factor to me. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm a dancer, sort of, kind of.
You're an Aries.
I'm an Aries.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Nice.
So yes. I'm
Okay,
excited to tell my story.
so where did you move? Where did you go to school? Everybody wants to know that.
Okay, so I moved when I was 18 to San Antonio to go to UTSA.
Oh, nice.
And now that was a little rocky getting there because my parents were not very supportive of the idea. They were like, you're gonna come back, and me being, who I am, I'm like, well, watch me. I'm not gonna be back. Me
Fuck
being
yeah.
back. Like me being back. Living with my dad. Beside the point. So one of the things that was worrying me a lot was driving in San Antonio. Now, if you
everyone isn't
Yes.
from there has that fear.
It's
you know?
that fear.
1604 traffic.
1604, 410,
Yeah.
151. There's highways, there are too many lanes, and there are drivers that rather die than let you merge.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
that was a worry for me. But actually, when I turned 18, like on my 18th birthday, I told my dad I want to go to La Cantera. I want to go shopping with, I want to say I went with Susie. Hi, Susie.
If you're not familiar with La Cantera, it's an outdoor mall in San Antonio.
Very,
Yes.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Very
Very,
upscale.
very nice restaurants, very pretty. And I was like, I want to go shopping. And my dad's like, well, you have your car. Go. And I was like, okay.
Like from Laredo?
Yes, from
Okay.
Laredo to
Psych.
with no. Well, I was an adult per se, but
Right.
still a child to me, and no adult supervision, no one to guide me, no one to like smack me in the head and be like, no, stay in this lane or
Right.
don't merge or you're gonna crash. No supervision whatsoever. So I actually took Susie and we got lost just trying to get out of Laredo because
Oh
I
my
thought
God.
that I didn't need to use a GPS.
It's just a straight line, though.
I don't know what.
I-35 is just a straight line.
Look, Gus, I do not remember what I took, what lane, what highway I took, but I was not headed to San Antonio. I don't even know where I was headed, so we had to
That's
get on
kinda
the
scary,
Jeep.
no?
McAllen.
Yeah.
Like the total opposite.
Honestly, probably McAllen. I'm not even kidding. So I had to GPS that, and luckily everything went well. And I was driving from probably like I want to say 1 p.m. and by 10, 11 p.m. we were back. So I was able to experience that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you went, shopped, and came back.
And came back
The same day.
same day.
Oh, how
Okay.
boring. I mean, how
And-
annoying.
And was that your first experience with San Antonio traffic?
That was my
Yeah.
first experience.
So, okay, so there's a huge like thing where Laredo traffic is bad because of people from Nuevo Laredo.
Yeah.
And then people here don't know how to drive, so you have the
Mine
worst.
drove.
So you have the worst
Yes.
drivers in the world in one city.
Yeah.
So when I was in San Antonio for a bit, I was like, oh shit, I thought here was bad. No, San Antonio has the worst drivers in the world.
Yes.
I've driven
Yeah.
in San Antonio a good amount, and I haven't experienced
Go
that kind of
at
shit.
from 4 p.m. to like 7 p.m.
Oh.
Yes.
It's bad. Like they'll cut you off. In the
Right,
smallest
yeah.
places, they're driving like 70 miles per hour when they're not supposed
Honestly,
to.
if you're an impatient
blinker.
person, it's not going to be for
Yeah.
you.
You know what's very relaxing or very kind of open and freeing is like at post bar closing, like 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. If you're driving on the 1604 or whatever, it's empty. Dude, it feels really nice. Like, because it's just straight. Like, it's like if in an ideal situation when if you were wanting to get to drive from point A to point B, and there was no, other factors or whatever. It's basically driving in a straight line. Obviously there's curves and shit like that,
Yeah.
but just the pure fact that there's nobody there.
There's like 5 lanes.
Yeah, there's 5 lanes. You
Yeah.
have this huge area to work with. It's honestly really freeing.
You know what's my thing about driving though is that like I see lights, right, and I'm like I want to look at them. So every time we go through San Antonio, I've never drove in San Antonio, but every time I go to San Antonio, I'm like I kind of want to just like look back and forth, like
and you're driving like 70 miles per hour. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like-
look, there's that restaurant. There's that restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I was in Laredo.
This-
By the time you know, you fucking crash into something.
I total some fucking Prius, like I live, they don't.
No, honestly,
Fucking skylines.
And traffic honestly depends on the time because 4 p.m. traffic isn't that bad, but 5 p.m. traffic is the literal
bumper to bumper.
fucking
Yeah,
worst.
like,
Yeah.
Yes.
like whenever you have to go to Spurs game and stuff
Oh,
like that, you're like, oh,
horrible.
the Spurs game starts in 2 hours, but you have to leave like 3 and a half.
No, you need to leave if you're gonna go anywhere at least 35 minutes before. And I still have that anxiety, like I'm always late actually, but I'm gonna be late
Right.
again here.
You
And
were
it's
late
like,
here.
you were late, first of all.
You know what I hate is that people talk shit about Laredo driving. They're like, oh, like to go from the north to the south, it takes
No,
forever,
no.
and
It
no,
does.
that's nothing.
It does.
Dude, it takes
forever.
Guys,
takes
when
like
you
20
I
live
hate
in-
driving your house.
I don't even live that far. I live on Clark.
I know. I hate driving to Clark.
I
It takes too
driving
long.
to your house.
It
I know
takes,
you
it
do.
takes like 15 minutes.
Dude.
at
I know.
most.
I haul ass over here and I get over here
Once
fast.
you live in San Antonio, you are grateful to take less than 20 to 25 minutes to drive anywhere because you have to set that time aside if you even want
That's
to get
true.
there right on the nick of time.
But I feel like in San Antonio, there's no speed limit, dude.
Oh no,
Yeah.
if you're not speeding, you're in the
You're in the danger
You're in
zone.
danger, Yeah.
Guys,
So-
yes.
So, like, why did you leave Laredo? Though? Like, why did you?
Or
Why
so
did you
quickly.
say?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be at TMU. I'm gonna leave Laredo, go to UTSA. Like, why is that?
Honestly, it had a lot to do with my family.
Mhm.
My family is very toxic. And it was
We love
really
'em.
hard for me to stay
La
in my
toxica.
house, for any longer than... It was just already getting
So,
so
is that
bad.
why you're toxic?
Ooh. Says
That's
who?
that's for another.
That's,
That's for another topic.
that's tea for another day, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to get into why Pancho thinks I'm toxic, although I think he's very toxic. But you guys can debate that on your
Yeah,
own.
she's throwing shade on my
Leave,
podcast.
leave comments. Who do you think is more toxic? And
Tweet at us
Put in
right
the
now.
comments below.
who's more toxic,
On
Cheryl or
YouTube.
Pancho?
I'm tweeting it right now.
So I guess were you able to leave that toxicity of your family whenever you
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Honestly, very out of sight, out of mind kind of experience. It was honestly getting just really hard to live at home with parents that were headed towards a divorce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I really want to leave. And also, and this is not to sound mamona or cocky or whatever, self-absorbed, but I knew that I didn't belong in Laredo almost. I wanted to get out there and experience things for my own, not hear it from other people. Like,
That makes sense.
yes, you know what, San Antonio's amazing, San Marcos, Austin. No, I wanted to go and be able to say, yes, this is my experience, and not have to rely on anyone to live vicariously through anyone.
So personal question: Did because you said your parents were like on the verge of divorce, right? So when you left, did it? Because I'm sure it's very stressful. It's sad and stuff like that. So when you left, was it a sense of relief that you weren't able to like see what was happening with your parents at home? Because whenever I left to the military, my parents got divorced. So right at that time, they got divorced. I learned, and I was very sad for a long time. And then when I left to the military, I felt like shit. I don't even know that they were getting a divorce, whatever they did, because I was out doing my own thing. So I understand you that when you leave, you get away from, I guess, the sadness in life or the stressors in life.
It's a form of escapism.
So I
Literally leaving.
Because I feel like some people leave Laredo because they hate Laredo or they want to expand themselves, but also people feel like leaving Laredo is a way to get away from the stressors of life.
Yeah.
Because it could be from, toxic families. It can be from abusive families.
Yeah.
It can be from all sorts of things. So
And-
it's very interesting as that being one of the reasons.
Yeah, and then to add on top of that too, I think another reason people leave Laredo is because we're such a small city, and everyone knows everyone's
We're not that
business.
small.
Well, quote unquote, you know what I mean. But everyone says like, "Oh, it's too small here," and everyone knows each other and
Well,
whatever.
honestly, that's kind of true. When you go out, you see the same damn people. Although it is expanding.
You know that
Yeah.
there's
very
people in
happy.
San Antonio that say the same thing.
That's
It's a-
crazy.
it's a- They say it's a bigger
San
Laredo.
Antonio is the 7th biggest city in the country.
Dude.
Number 7. And there's people that I know from San Antonio because I go all the time for National Guard, and some people are like, "Oh, dude, I see the same people all the time when I go out."
That's crazy.
So I feel like you could be in a big city like San Antonio and still feel that you're in a small town, or you still feel like you see the exact same number of
No, dude,
people.
San Antonio's fucking huge. If you Texas is home for like I think 2 of the top 10 biggest cities in the country.
I think 3.
Dallas,
2 or 3.
Houston.
What's it called? If you take Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, and you only take those 3 cities into account, based off of GDP, it's the 15th largest country in the world
Wow.
Nice.
with just 3 of those cities.
No, but going back to it, I feel like people they have that excuse, like I'm gonna leave Laredo because it's too small.
No,
It's too
honestly,
small.
my family was a very, very big factor in me leaving, and it was in a way a sort of an escape. But also, I was just very happy to be outside of Laredo. Also, because my dad would not let me do anything.
Okay.
I would get grounded for anything when I was in high school. So when I left, I was like, ooh, have a
She
sense
was
of
at
freedom
one of those
now.
UTSA parties because I used to like drive up there and they were like, hey Cheryl, try this, and it was a joint. She's like, oh, I've never tried this. I've never tried this before.
I knew what a joint was, guys.
She inhaled the whole
I was like,
thing.
you're not even inhaling.
If y'all-
$30 a G, that's a steal.
That is so
That's
cheap.
ghost.
I'll
That's
take
literally
2.
ghost.
And then she's like, am I doing it right?
They're like, you need to inhale, Cheryl.
They give her like a jewel, and she's like, "I'm so high."
It has no weed.
Yeah.
Cheryl.
No, so yes, it was a really big escape for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the bittersweet part of it, the sweet part was, okay, I'm not going to be there at home to listen to screaming matches, feeling so uncomfortable. I'm going to be living with 3 strangers.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that was different. But
How
the
was that?
bitter part was I was in a relationship at that time. That was the beginning of what I had a 5-year
Was it
relationship.
before you moved or after you moved?
It was before I moved. So actually, the funny story was that.
Now be careful, they might be listeners.
They know.
I think he's one of our favorite listeners.
Hello. You know who you are. We had gotten together, and I remember telling him, once I leave to college, this can't be. I don't do long distance.
Oof.
And I did it for 5 years. I did it for 3 years.
Shit. He proved you wrong.
Yeah, he came from my neck. And so, that was like the bitter part of it. But I didn't cry for anything. I didn't cry for leaving my parents. I didn't cry for leaving my boyfriend at the time. I was so excited to be out.
Well, Pancho, you left Laredo for a certain amount of time, right?
Yeah, so when I joined the military when I was 19. And so I went to California and San Antonio. And it was entirely different. I didn't leave Laredo because I hated Laredo. I just wanted to try something new with my life because I felt like I was just at a standstill. So whenever you're at a standstill, guess what you do? You join the military.
Yeah.
so that's what I did, and I went to California. I met people of all races and stuff like that. To me, it was different because I grew up with the Mexicans my whole life. When I grew up in Zapata, when I grew up here in Laredo. So I finally got to experience, people from, the South, like Dixie. From
Dixieland.
The North, other
that good old Southern hospitality, don't
other
you?
Hispanics. That's how I started liking like reggaeton and stuff like that, or Latin trap like Bad Bunny. Because of my Puerto Rican buddies and
Nicky Jams and all those guys.
Bad Bunny was a thing when you were in the military.
No,
the taste was
that. Like J Balvin was I guess
Simon.
That's when he was Safari was popping at the time and stuff like that. So I'm
not aware. I'm not cultured.
So it's weird actually. Like
I'm not.
I would actually, because there was not that really much Mexicans in the Air Force. A lot of the Mexicans joined like the Army and the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I was hanging out with like the Puerto Rican dudes, and they're pretty cool, bro. That's how I got to my ear was how fast they fucking speak. And I'm like, fuck, bro, what are you saying? And so
I just heard
like that lady that would go into Zoomies all the time, and she's like, no tienen la fila, no tienen la fila.
Dude, I have a homie. Shout out to my homie Hera. He's actually a listener. Him and his girlfriend, or him and his wife at the moment.
Oh, that's right.
Dude, Puerto Ricans. I was like, I didn't understand that was a Puerto Rican. Like, I was like, what race are you? Like, accent. I couldn't tell what he was.
Hispanic.
No, he's
Hispanic.
No, he's Hispanic, but I mean, like, he had an afro, and he was darker complected, and then I heard him speak, and the Spanish, I couldn't pick it up. I was like, what are you saying? Like, papacito, ya tú sabes, bien tranquilo. Like, dude, but
that was pretty good.
Dude, but Puerto Ricans are the shit. I love Puerto Ricans.
And they take so much pride in being Puerto Rican that I want to be Puerto Rican.
Dude, I wish I was Puerto Rican.
Too.
You know what's funny though is going back to it is that most of reggaeton music is Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah.
Like that slipped my mind completely because there's no real big Mexican artists that make reggaeton.
No, because it's a Latin American, it's a Caribbean type of thing,
Yeah, so I was like, that's crazy because it's reggaeton, like reggae.
And
as
then
in
also like growing up, what helped me leaving Laredo, I guess you embrace diversity.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up with African Americans.
Yeah.
And when I met a lot of African American buddies when I was in the military, and I guess people actually think like before and even after that the military is racist. I think the military is one of the most diverse places in the country.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's where I actually got to get out of my shell. As being as Mexicans. Mexicans, we have our own little shell.
Yeah.
The way that we
absolutely.
act and stuff like that. So I was actually to get out of my shell and embrace other cultures. So I think that's one of the best things.
It's a culture shock,
ever.
absolutely.
Well, I went to college at A&M in a bit, and I hung out with Mexican people, so I didn't really, hang out with people from other stuff and I kind of hated it because I don't know, because you're always in school, so you don't get to embrace like all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cheryl, there was one thing. So here in Laredo, we have like the nightlife, the emerging nightlife. Mm-hmm. I'm sure in San Antonio, there's not a place that you can't do. There's not a thing that you can't do. No. Okay, I remember when you go to San Antonio, you can bar hop. Here, you can't bar hop, but you can't really bar hop.
You walk from Seta to happy hour.
Yeah, you're in the same street.
It's more like bar walk.
Like in San Antonio, like you're everywhere.
Honestly.
So how is the nightlife in San Antonio?
The nostalgia I just got. The nightlife in San Antonio. Well, honestly, back then was amazing. And one of the places that we would go a lot was obviously, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of it.
The
Lush.
Sandbox. Oh.
Well,
Rustic.
Sandbox came after actually, but Lush was an up and coming club when I was a sophomore.
Wait, is that all the ones that all the Laredo ones go to Lush?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Lush Burn House was one of them
Yes.
too. But I remember hanging out with friends, Mo, and the other of you listening. Hey, we kind of met in orientation, and me, my friend Brianna, Letty, my girl Joe, we would all hang out with them first, and that's when I started going to. I thought it was called Live, but it was actually pronounced Live.
Oh,
so
nice.
it was a club, and the nightlife is very different because I wouldn't go out in Laredo. My dad would not let me. Other than that,
Well, because you left here at 18, like there wasn't really.
but I mean, my friends
Yeah, okay,
would start
yeah.
partying when they were 15.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to
That's
kind of
crazy.
experience that. And the only thing I ever experienced was house parties in the Pink House
love
with my
house parties.
buddies. And I didn't know anything about the nightlife, but I remember wanting to experience it because I never had experienced it.
Right.
So I would be studying while I was getting ready for my exam the next day, getting ready to go to the club,
Nice.
you know, being reckless as usual. And honestly, the nightlife is pretty amazing. Aside from obviously being a girl, you get random dudes. They don't even ask you to dance or they don't even try. They just grab you. And
Oh,
that
oh.
would be...
That's sad.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes you have that.
Fonz tried that once, it didn't work.
I guess.
Fonz grabbed me and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I wasn't very happy with it, but
So,
mostly because of the sweat.
I kind of want to go back. I want to ask you, like, when you going back to like my diversity and culture type thing. When you leave, because here you can't really embrace your culture or appreciate it because it's
We're all the
it's
same.
around you.
Yeah.
It's all
Yes.
around. But when you left, did you kind of have this sense of pride in like where you came from? Because when I was in the military, when I was in college at A&M, I took this like sense of pride of like, hey, I'm from Laredo. I'm a Mexican American guy. You know, I kind of embraced that culture.
Yeah.
It actually became a part of me because sometimes like, why do people try to affiliate themselves all the time with you know their ethnicity and stuff like that? But then once I left, I kind of understood why.
Yeah, because
like when I was in college, I actually joined the Mexican Students Association at
Yeah.
A&M. So I was like, oh shit, like because those people have something in common when you
Yeah.
whenever you leave, you still want to hang out with people who you share stuff with. So
Yeah.
like did whenever you moved to San Antonio, did you try to hang on to a certain like a group of people, or did you try to expand your circle? How was
Definitely
that?
a little bit of both. So when I was going through all that stuff, like leaving and my family and everything, what I did, which was very stupid of me, and I want to say kind of like immature and childish, was I would associate Laredo with just tons of heartbreak. From
Oh.
everything that was happening back at home
Okay.
to anything that could have happened within my relationship.
Mhm.
I didn't want to go back to Laredo. I wanted nothing to do with Laredo because I kept associating it with
Yeah.
pain. You know, until I met someone came into my life and they told me, I'm going to make you love Laredo again. That's exactly what he told me. And so he did.
Oh god.
And it was that kind of like moment where
I don't remember telling you that.
Oh,
That's weird.
That's weird.
We didn't talk for a certain amount of time, so it clearly wasn't me.
But yes and no. So that part of me was very like, I don't want to go back to Laredo. I don't want to go visit as much. I want to be in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But also, I was placed when I was living there. I first lived in a dorm.
Right.
So I lived with, I want to say one of them was a Hispanic, but two of them were white girls. And I did have my experience.
I like white girls.
Oh, yes.
Wait, hold on.
Technical difficulties.
The camera shut off, or is it on or not? The screen's on. Does it do that, Pancho?
I don't know.
We'll edit this out. Don't worry.
24
We're in a little.
Turn it. Just turn it back on. Press the button.
Turn it on.
Oh, there we are.
Was it? It's still recording.
Oh.
Yeah.
I clicked record again. That's all.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Fuck it. Let's keep going.
Are we good?
Yeah. I mean, if the audio, if the video fucks up, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. And then so okay.
So yeah, I
And we're
had
back.
my-
Okay. So we like white girls.
Yeah.
We like white girls. And
I just had
Like
to
trying to
mention
say
that.
the same joke.
Yeah.
So
No,
the-
it's because we got cut off just when it.
If you didn't hear it, yeah. If you didn't hear it the first time, we'll say it again. We love white girls.
So I'm going to dive in and say that I had my problems with the white girls.
Oh.
So we're going to talk, right? Well, I want to talk about living with other people, especially living with people you do not know and you've never met in your life. And I've talked about this with Gus when he's like, I want to move out and
that
have
hasn't
roommates.
happened with the two of you, all right?
I've lived in Laredo my whole life.
Okay, so let's show. I have a story too.
Go.
We can go.
I don't know what it's like. I've lived
You
with the
know
same
what it's
5
like?
people my whole life.
I've never lived with anyone other than my family, but I
Yeah.
want to though.
You and me should
No.
live together.
Yeah, me and Fonz are actually planning on moving in together.
No, okay. So
And
this is...
when you get the job.
I have a very strong reaction now with living with other people because I've had my fair share of roommates. I've had my fair share of living with my boyfriend, and I've lived alone. And I can...
Out of the 3, what do you recommend?
Living alone with your dog.
Oh,
That is what I would
Winnie.
recommend.
Shout out to Winnie.
Winston, I love you.
Her pug.
Yes.
She's got a pug named Winston.
He
He's
is
the
my
cutest
child. He's more than a pug.
thing. He looks like a human.
He's named
weird.
after the cigarettes.
Like he like Winston looks like a dog, but like when you look at him, you feel like you're looking at a human.
No, and do not wish that upon him, please. I would.
What?
I
Pugs
would
bug
die.
eye.
Pugs, they're like
They're sensitive, so they say to buy a harness instead of a collar because their eyes
Right.
can actually pop out.
Girls with pugs, top tier.
Yes,
Ooh.
thank you.
They're in the bottom of like genetics when it comes to being a dog.
Yeah,
like-
So, so their eyes,
They're suffering as a
their
as a
Okay,
eyes will pop out.
That's
like,
not true, though. Everyone says they have breathing problems, and my dog is very active. He does not have any kinds of breathing
He doesn't go-
problems. He was bleeding from his
Brain.
penis for a while, but we got that fixed, and he doesn't.
that's definitely not a health problem.
Wait, you can't just fucking brush that up on the table. He was bleeding from his penis?
Yes, my poor baby has a urethral prolapse.
Oh.
So
Wait, but he doesn't have a health problem though.
I meant like the stereotypical. They have breathing problems. No, my dog does not have that. So
That's-
yes,
I've
Oh.
never
Because-
bled from my dick before, so I
Dude,
don't know.
that pains me so much.
yeah,
That
the
pains me so much.
$1,300 charge on my credit card pains me too. Yes, I
Damn,
had to
so
get him.
his dick is
Worth
worth $1,300.
$1,300.
Yay! I'm like,
How much is your
"Fonz,
dick worth,
how much is
Fonz?"
yours?
Shit, girl. I mean, it don't take much. Probably like a Wendy's chili. So like,
Mine's worth 0. I wasn't circumcised.
Probably
so.
like a burrito
Oh,
from Stripes.
I love the stripes burritos. You can get me to do anything. You promise me 2 stripes burritos.
and,
very
and gas
satisfying.
station sushi.
I don't eat gas station
Yes,
sushi.
you sent us a picture of a fish from the gas station.
Wait,
I've
what
never
the
been able to
fuck?
look at you the same.
That's the thing?
He's down for gas station sushi.
Okay, it's because one time before it went out. Okay, like hold on. The one at Shiloh, I stopped at the gas station at Shiloh to I don't know what I was gonna get, but I bought food, right? And I jokingly, there was a picture of a full fried tilapia. And I took a picture and I sent it to them, right? And they're like, "Please don't buy it. Please don't buy it." Obviously, I didn't buy it. But
No, but he thought about it. You know he had to think
He did
about
though.
it.
Like he was every joke he says, like there's a little bit of truth in it.
Yeah, there's always truth. Like he wants it, but he's looking for validation. Like guys,
Yeah. Like if we're about it, then he'll do it.
I mean, where else would you get
he
tilapia?
needs that
Like,
encouragement. He needs that
I
encouragement.
mean, other than the gas station on Shiloh, I don't know.
And your HEB.
Yeah.
So you ate it.
I didn't eat it. No, I didn't buy it. I wanted to.
No. Okay, so go on with what you're saying
Okay,
about living with
we
white
like just
people?
yes,
Or white women.
white women.
Yeah.
Nothing against white women, but one in particular, she looked at me, and I actually lost a lot of weight.
Is she a listener of this podcast?
I don't know, but
I hope she is. I'll meet her one day.
But I'm about to throw some shade. So
No.
Okay, keep
Oh
going.
no.
Okay.
So what had happened was I lost a lot of weight when I moved to college. I used to weigh 120. Weighed what, 104? So significant. I was already.
You did the opposite of what happens in college.
Yes. Everyone was the
freshman
freshman 15.
15.
Mine was like the negative 15.
Yeah.
I completely lost it. So what happened was that she looked at me and she said, "Oh, so what are you as far as like ethnicity and whatnot?"
Oh, because I mean,
And I'm like, I'm Hispanic.
for the listeners that aren't watching, Cheryl, she's Hispanic. But if you glance at her, she looks Asian.
She looks
Yeah.
east.
She's the Laredo Lucy Liu.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm very honored by that.
Hold on now. Hold on
Damn.
now.
Yeah.
I love Lucy Liu.
And you love Cheryl.
I love Cheryl.
Yeah.
She's
Oh
okay.
no, but
Cheryl's fine, but like Lucy Liu.
Yeah,
like,
Lucy Liu.
I love that scene in Kill Bill where she's like, and if anyone tries to bring up my ethnicity of being half Chinese, half American, I'll cut your fucking head off, or whatever she
excuse me,
says.
Charlie's Angels.
I've never
Yes.
I've never been so horny with someone holding a
Dude,
decapitated
on
decapitated head,
baby,
yeah.
on baby, bro.
On baby.
And then she's barefoot too. She runs across the table barefoot. I was
What's with
like,
you with feet?
I
What's
was
with you with
hitting
feet?
pause.
Yes, queen.
But
Yes.
like, but it was kind of blurry because
Yeah.
the frame
You
wasn't
wanted
like
to see,
right.
like the bottom of her feet.
Yeah, you
It's
really
like
see the
weird to
soul.
see.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, so if you're Mexican, then why are you skinny?"
Oh.
I was like,
Oh,
I was like, if you're implying that
I don't even know how. Like, I can't even like devil's advocate that.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
that.
like there's no like.
there's no around that.
Like
That
I
was
can't even
just-
put myself in her head to like try to make it better. Like that's just like
Then why are you at UTSA if you're Mexican?
Yeah, like,
I was
Damn.
like, are you trying to imply that white people are skinny? Because if so, then why aren't you?
Oh, so
so
she
from
was.
the bat, y'all hated each other?
Not
or
from
what?
the bat, but I've never experienced anything like that.
well,
Again,
did she have
lived-
like a white name like Bailey or like,
Haley?
Haley with an E-I-G-H.
yeah, like yeah.
Haley Lynn.
Oh my god!
Haley.
And they named their kids like Indica
Haley.
Blue, like
Haley Marie.
Braylon, Haley.
yeah, Kaylin.
I'm gonna marry a Halen one day.
No, sir.
Ryder.
Yeah. I went
Mackenzie.
I went to church with the white guy and he named his son Brewer.
That
Like
that's
brewery.
a cool
Like
name.
Brewer, like he was a.
That's actually a badass.
That's a
Okay,
kinda, like,
but,
that's a
but,
kinda
the,
cool.
but the irony is that we're Mormon, so like we can't even brew
Oh.
anything. We can't brew coffee, tea, or beer. So it doesn't
So,
matter.
we're gonna name our kid Brew
Yeah.
then. We
Dude,
can't do
that's
it.
so fucking funny, bro. You're a Mormon that can't brew tea, coffee, or beer. Like you
See,
can't.
man,
Wait,
do
wait,
it.
wait, guys,
Brewer.
are we
Brewer, yeah, like
Mormons can't drink tea, coffee, or beer.
yeah.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
sad.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, but they named him
It's
Brewer.
not halal.
It's it was haram or whatever.
Ooh, okay. Well, I think, well, Cheryl, just to kind of close off the topic, why did you come back to Laredo?
I
Ooh.
did not come back because I wanted to be back. I will
Okay.
say that much. I did go through my ups and downs of living in San Antonio, living with people I did not want to live, heartbreaks, relationships, graduating, which was, I'm the first generation, so it was a big fucking deal to be.
Hey, let's go.
That's awesome.
That's badass.
It was
Car-
really
Fonz,
fun.
correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also trying to be the first to graduate?
I'm trying to be the first to graduate in my
Yes,
family.
baby.
That's awesome.
That's nice.
So,
Building that generational wealth one generation at a time.
I just want to be rich. I just want to be old and wear Columbia and be rich as fuck. And my kids go United and
You
they're
are wearing
spoiled.
Columbia
I know,
right
but
now.
like,
So you like live,
I'm
so
not
you
old or
prefer
rich yet.
living
Hold
by
on.
yourself.
yes,
It's-
so living with roommates or people that you don't know, absolutely terrible.
I kind of have one story about
Go,
that.
let's
Whenever
hear
I
it.
was in college, I had my roommate. He was from South Korea.
yeah.
He was in the South Korean military, actually.
Wow.
And one time, I was doing my homework, and he was like biting his toenails in front of me,
Okay.
like
Oh,
in
no.
front of me, like I'm
Like-
there doing homework, and he's like,
That, I mean, that's
he's,
impressive.
He's like,
That's
he,
flexible.
Like, he's like over here, biting his toenails and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, like he was a nice dude. This guy was badass. Like,
Yeah.
we would watch the
mean,
the
maybe-
Korean game shows.
That-
Oh,
Like,
those
those
are
are
sick
fucking
shit.
sick. Like we would watch.
What's
them in
that?
his
What's that
laptop.
Asian one? XMP or something like that.
FXC.
That
Yeah,
one-
they would use an old Japanese game show with the American voiceovers.
That
yeah,
one was
that's so
fucking funny, dude.
That was on Spike TV. Yeah.
I had terrible experiences with my roommates. Every single one of them, boyfriend included. Like just terrible.
But I've
terrible
had some
experiences.
badass. I had a badass
Shame.
roommates though. Like
Hello.
one of my roommates in the military. That guy was badass. Like we hit it off. We would always watch.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that Korean
like,
guy was just
we-
comfortable with you. Like,
Yeah.
so comfortable
like,
that he's
he
like,
was badass. It was just like a weird thing. Like everybody has like their pros and cons.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was the weirdest thing. I never had a bad roommate. All my
Oh.
room. I've had 3 roommates. I guess when you include
technically,
college
I've had
military.
a roommate. My cousin used to live with me here when we went to high school, and he shared a room with me.
He's family. You're obligated to love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's different when you don't like when you the first time you meet them
Nah, he's cool.
and
Trying to cover me.
yeah, I remember he was like, oh, that was weird. But yeah, some I had a buddy. We would play FIFA all the time, watch games together. So yeah, I guess everybody's different because I've heard horror stories. I had a girlfriend. one of my girlfriends, whenever I was a freshman in college, she fucking hated her roommate. Like, it was bad. Like, they never spoke.
Allah.
Like,
no,
they
yes.
did
Actually,
stuff,
that was
so-
very
But like, is
much
that
me.
bad?
Yes, because it's like
Not for me.
you live with them. Like, you need to actually develop a good relationship with that person.
Yeah.
No, like you need to because but it's awkward.
Yeah.
Because you're like
you need to
this
develop a functioning
If
one.
you're not phased by
At
the
least.
awkwardness, honestly, I would get in and out and mind my business and pretend that they didn't even exist.
No, but
That's when my
weird.
sister went to semester in San Antonio. She did that with her roommate. Like her roommate was like 30 or something. I don't know why she was in college at the time, but to each their own, right? But they were rooming together, and like it was literally like night and day. Like she was in her room, my sister was in her room.
But when you share
Very
a
little,
room, though-
very little communal
Okay,
time.
No, but I'm talking about when you share a
Okay,
dorm.
so
That's
this
okay.
is-
That's different.
That's
yeah.
different.
Yes.
And my ex-girlfriend, they like her bed was here and the other girl's bed was there.
Oy.
Obviously, like they had to get to know each other the first couple of days, but then when they didn't really like hit it off and one thing annoys one another, but you still have to live with each other, like especially when you don't like that person, every little thing that they do
Pisses you
annoys
off.
Bother you, yes.
So whenever the year ends or maybe the semester, like you're fucking like, oh, thank God, I don't have
Honestly,
to deal with this piece of
and
shit.
to like kind of brush up on that, my other roommate. So if it was not one of them making racist remarks towards me, it was the other one who did not know how to be an adult. She would write notes because my boyfriend would go over, and you boys do not know how to put the seat down from the toilet or the.
Bro,
leave a
your
little-
condoms.
Ah.
Hey,
Look, I
Leave a
sit
little
down when I
drizzle.
pee, so that's
My
not me.
my mom she
People who do that.
my mom instilled the seat sitting down.
when
Yeah.
the poop
Sitting
stays in the toilet bowl, you don't wipe it off.
So the problem, she would leave me notes, and the thing is that I was like, we are adults. You live in the room next to me.
Just tell me.
Just tell me. I wrote her a note. I was like, if you do this shit again, don't. I was like, do not. This is my number. We are adults. If you want to talk about something, feel free to and comfortable to talk to me about it, but don't ever do this again.
You moan a little too loud at night.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. No, absolutely not. It was just she had a problem with like the seat being. She had a problem with everything.
I know I'm a shitty
Just
roommate.
put down
Like
this fucking seat.
I know.
Yeah.
Or well, I don't know. Maybe girls are
I
like,
don't-
weirded out by that.
Like I don't necessarily see the issue with the seat being up. Like just put it down.
Yeah, just put it down.
Yes.
No,
Well,
like
she-
whoever
You remember
walks
the
in,
South
like
Park episode where like the mom
Oh, yeah.
dies because like
Clyde, you should have just put the seat down, Clyde.
I feel like I'm a shitty roommate, and I acknowledge that because I wake up at like 3 a.m. and like I make whole ass meals and shit, and then like I'm loud as fuck. Like
His whole ass meals are just ramen and like
Ramen.
Cheeto dust, like
Yeah,
mixed
she
together.
said-
sprinkled.
with
Yeah.
hot dog pieces.
Yeah. A little bit of pickle too. Make a real prison fucking pie.
No,
That's just
I
it.
have horror stories with roommates that I can talk about for ages, and I won't. But there's probably only one roommate I liked, and that was my girl Gabby. We hit it off, but again, different schedules.
Mm.
And once I realized I wasn't compatible with any of my roommates for my 2 years, because my first 2 years I lived with random roommates,
Yeah.
I would stay a lot with my aunt because my aunt was pregnant, had her baby, and I would help her a lot with that. So yes, and then my third year was living with an ex of mine, which was a very big mistake. No
Shit.
shade, of course. Like there's a lot of love and appreciation between me and him.
And lust.
Right.
And
Yeah.
no lust whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I think we should leave it at that because we're.
Oh well,
co-
let me cut you off for a little.
Oh,
bit.
okay, cut me off.
The reason I came back wasn't because I wanted to.
Oh, that's right.
I
That was the
love-
question that I
yes.
asked him. To
Yeah.
do.
COVID
We all-
victim, right?
yes.
You're a COVID victim.
COVID survivor, I'd prefer.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh yes, she had COVID.
And
she
yes,
survived.
actually, I am a COVID
like the
survivor.
99% of all 23-year-olds.
No.
Yes, I didn't come back because I wanted to. I had a lot of opportunities over there, and because of the pandemic, I had no choice. I didn't want to take the risk of releasing in
Yeah.
the apartment that I lived in with Winnie. I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm getting unemployment, but when it comes to jobs and employment, a lot of things are frozen right now, and I'm not going to take the risk of leasing for another year just so I won't be able to pay.
Right.
And my dad, he got engaged and he was having a baby. He's having a baby in a couple months.
Congrats.
Congrats. So yes, that was the reason why.
Nice.
I have two
Came back.
questions before we move on to
Go,
the next
go.
thing. Do you recommend to our listeners who are thinking about leaving after they graduate college or thinking about right now, like, hey, I'm stuck here in Laredo. Like, do you recommend them expanding themselves or just leaving and exploring the world? Do you recommend that?
Absolutely. I think you learn a lot about yourself and your boundaries and who you are. You meet other people, you experience culture shock, things that you wouldn't have otherwise experienced if you stayed in Laredo. And honestly, I've learned to love Laredo and appreciate it, and there's no way to shit on it because it's my home. It's home, and it's where the people I love are, honestly. But if you do want different experiences, if you want different relationships with other people, and not in the romantic way, just, even like the platonic way.
Right. I love platonic.
We love platonic here.
I hate
Yes,
platonic.
I do recommend leaving. And I know there's a lot of hesitation of, what if I get homesick and all that? Personally, I didn't experience it.
If it doesn't work for you, you can always come
You
back.
could always come
Yeah.
back, if you have that privilege, because we also have to acknowledge that not everyone has that privilege, whether it be financial, social, emotional, whatever it may be. They don't have that privilege. But if you are able, I highly, highly recommend you leave Laredo. And if you come back, that is okay, because you at least know what you're capable of. And if you ever
Right.
want to leave again, or to a bigger city,
Now you know.
state, country, you know that you can do it.
So, final question.
Yes.
So, now that you're expressing your Laredo love and stuff like
Yes.
that, do you plan on staying? Do you plan on moving back? Like, what's your plan now?
Okay, so
Because I feel like you came back and you started appreciating Laredo a little bit more.
I started appreciating Laredo.
And I can tell by
Hold
I
on,
can
Pancho.
tell
We
by
have to
your
do an
tone.
ad break. We have to do an ad break. Go,
So,
Vance.
would Danny force us to do the ad break?
Bro, we're going on 40 minutes already.
God damn.
We'll do
You
the
wanna
we'll
do
do the ad break, and we'll answer the question right afterwards.
All right, Cheryl. This is audio.
Because it's a good question. It's a good question.
Damn,
Oh,
Jack.
Cheryl's reading it. Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh shit!
What?
No. Yeah. Fuck it. Whatever.
Ready? Are you tired of living a life without purpose? Do you find yourself not wanting to get out of bed in the morning? Have you ever been in a relationship that tore your heart apart? I have. Without ever being able to accept that love drove the pain? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we cannot help with that. But what we can do is offer great audio and video quality at an affordable price. It's time for better sound quality in your life. It's time for Audio World. Audio World, where we're slashing prices on everything from commercial and residential audio and video to LED lighting and installations. Show us a competitor's price, we'll beat it. If we can't beat it, we'll give you the keys to the store. Literally. Audio World, business you can trust, sound quality you can feel.
Woo!
Damn, that was really good.
That was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
We might just ask you
A
to
lot more
record.
people are gonna start buying audio stuff now.
We might ask you to record the ad,
So
and then we'll
next
just
to our
play it.
sponsor who hasn't bought me the cap yet.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you're
so
welcome.
petty.
You're
so
welcome.
petty.
So
All right, now
going
now
back. So
do the
going
thing.
back to the question, our final
Yeah.
question. Okay,
Yes.
before we move on to the next topic. So when Cheryl and I first got to know each other, I remember she was like, "Fuck Laredo," fuck this, fuck that.
Man.
And she was like, "No, I would never move back. Like I'm only here for I don't want to move back." But then after a while, I guess once like when we first met, now our friendship has gotten better and stuff like that. I've noticed from a personal standpoint, your opinion on Laredo has gotten a lot better.
Yes.
It has gotten a lot better. So, do you plan on staying? Like, what is it?
Honestly, my opinion on Laredo got better 2 years ago. Whether, I was in a new relationship and my parents had gotten divorced, sort of kind of separated, gotten divorced, and everything seemed to be looking up, less toxic, more love, more fun. So it
Better
changed 2
friends.
years. Better friends that I've met. No. I personally would not come back. What I'm doing right now, though, so it might change because I learned never to say never. Because you say never.
Never say never.
I used to be like, I'm never going back to Laredo. Boom.
You can't-
I'm here.
You can't speak in absolutes.
I'm here and unemployed for over 6 months.
Woo!
We love that for me. And
Have you been receiving checks?
yes,
Okay.
we be getting, I've been in my bag.
And let me-
I've been in the
I
government's
love that
bag.
my tax dollars are going
You're like, but I've
to
been in his bag too.
I'm in my bag, but
if
I'm
there's
in his
anyone
too.
I want my tax dollars going to, it's Cheryl.
Yes, thank you, Pancho. Thank you.
I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen.
But
Go-
sorry.
are you-
Go finish,
I am
finish.
working on a business plan that I would like to start in
Smooth.
Laredo.
Is
Gus
that
knows
selling
about
your
it.
feet pics?
No, although
You could
my
make
feet are
bank.
cute. Yes, I could, but there's a moral thing
let
for
me see.
me.
Okay.
They're cute and we know this, but I do want to start and plan on starting the business here in Laredo. Won't get into it. Gus knows about it. We can talk about it after. Also, because I don't like putting it out there, and then if it doesn't happen, being absolutely
Yeah.
heartbroken.
We're still in
Just
the-
know that if you're still trying to sell feet pics, we can use our like account
Yeah.
and use your feet
I
pics.
got
It's
you.
not
I'll
about-
manage
We
it.
need to make money for the podcast, and we can help you make money.
Yeah,
too.
I can manage it. I know.
Yeah.
I
Are
know
we
all the
getting? Are
angles.
you my pimp?
No,
No, like we're partnering
Business
up.
partner.
Like your like your feet pics, like every like 3 posts, we'll post like your feet.
Yeah,
And
I'll promote
all the
it.
money we get, we'll like split it.
I know like all the right angles and everything.
So I'm planning on doing this in the next 3 years. I hate you.
This is terrible.
Anyways,
Cheryl loves me. She loves me.
I do. I'm planning on doing this in 3 years, hopefully. So maybe that is gonna
Am I gonna be a part
allow
of
me
it?
to stay here. But if I do find another opportunity, yes, I will leave.
Go where the
Being-
opportunities are.
Honestly, and that's advice for everyone. Go where the
Just be
opportunities are.
Go where the
Just
opportunities
the
are.
feet pics popping up.
Yeah.
Like in
Yeah,
3
bro.
years, like okay, if you want to invest, have money for whatever you're gonna do. Feet pics.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Save up.
Yeah. So,
Ladies and
go
gentlemen,
on, Fonz.
we're introducing a new segment. Gus, give me the music.
Okay, give me a second. We're fucking.
Welcome to Fonz's Mini Stories. This is the segment I'm going to talk to you about everything from the supernatural to the extraterrestrial and everything in between. So put your tinfoil hat on and turn up your volume. Your mind is a map and my voice is the compass. I started on that a little bit. Alrighty. On July 7th, 1948, it was reported that 2 U.S. military aircrafts were allegedly in pursuit of a UFO. This unidentified flying object was described as silver and disc-shaped and was estimated to be around 90 feet in diameter. The UFO then reportedly crashed around 30 miles south of our very own Laredo, Texas. Servicemen were then dispatched from the nearby military base. What was that one called in
Yeah,
Laredo?
Laredo Air Force Base.
Laredo Air Force
Yeah.
Base to block off anyone approaching the crash site while they waited for a special retrieval team to examine the wreckage and carry it away to the military base in San Antonio. It was noted that the body recovered from the crash was described as a non-human entity and badly burned. A later report surfaced in 1978 giving more details about the Laredo UFO crash. It was described as, or dubbed, the Tomato Man by the press because of its extremely large head and reddish appearance. So today, ladies and gentlemen, your neighbor's garage, we're gonna debate: are aliens real?
Let's do it. Wow, I like that. I'm keeping the ambience noise on
I
because
don't know.
I'm,
You know what?
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping
You know
it.
what? And this string of UFO crashes was not the only one in South Texas. There was actually
I'm sure
yeah.
there's been multiple UFO sightings across Texas.
Well, it was Laredo, and then there was also one in Del Rio. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, around the year before or after one of those.
Now-
but so
So, okay, this is as playing devil's advocate. Okay?
Yeah.
Of course,
Because,
as always.
Fucking skeptic ass. Let's go.
because the thing is, like, I'm the type of guy, unless I see it,
you won't believe
I
it.
don't believe it. And
Yeah.
this is coming from, like, the most Catholic guy ever.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
so in, like, Laredo and Del Rio, at those times, guess what? Air Force bases, okay? I think it's Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio has the most flights in the United States per day. So one might think that one of the flights, that they did take there was from an Air Force jet.
Yeah.
Even sometimes now we think like, oh, it's a UFO sighting because I haven't seen those lights before. When in actuality, at night, it's just a bunch of jets doing practice runs at
Now
night.
that's what the government wants you to think.
From Kingsville now because the Laredo Air Force Base has been shut down since
Yeah.
the 1970s, right? But we still have Naval Air Station Kingsville, Naval Air Station Corpus Christi,
Yeah.
and we still have Laughlin Air Force Base in Del Rio, and we have Lackland and Randolph in San Antonio, right? So I know I'm killing the vibe here.
I'm buzzed killed
But-
right now.
Nice.
But the stuff that you see at night and the stuff that people might have seen back then were probably, flights
you know
flights from the military.
Yeah.
I completely
because
disagree. It's
because the
I
military's
disagree
not
too.
gonna get to because in the military, guess what? I used to work at a bomb range. Okay?
Oh, did you fly the planes?
And no, they used to guess.
Jesus Christ.
Guess what? 100 miles away was that bomb. 100 miles away was that bomb range, and guess
Yeah.
what? They would fly at night and do all this stuff. So, and
Okay, but I don't think Air Force pilots are small, four-thumbed, red little men.
Yeah.
Did they find actual bodies?
Yeah,
They found an
recovered a
actual body. There's an actual picture.
Wasn't there recently evidence from the government that
Because everyone
Yeah.
always shows like
Crashes
in
were real?
like UFO sightings like at
No,
in
no,
the
no,
sky.
they-
I'm not talking
recovered-
about UFO site. This is a UFO
This
crash.
is the crash that
where
happened.
they have the picture of the body where it's got like a big head and it was described as like a reddish color. They dubbed him the Tomato Man, right? Because the body from that wreckage was like mangled and
Disfigured,
small,
Is there an
burns,
actual picture you
disfigured.
can show me right now?
I can try to pull it up.
Pull up the Tomato Man
Pull
picture.
it up. Pull it up. Yeah,
In
and-
this group, we believe in UFOs.
Really? Can
Yeah,
you
Ed, bring it
show
over here,
to me?
please. Okay. Yeah, so I think when it comes to like UFOs, and of course, I mean, you're in the Air Force, Pancho, so you probably know a little bit more that you can't tell us, right?
Yeah,
But
definitely.
Here, this thing. That's a UFO. Fuck, I don't want to make that many words. Yeah, Pancho's got it over there. You can turn that. You can turn
yeah,
that.
so I guess to listeners at home, what I have to say is this. Now, I used to be the same way. I didn't believe in UFOs. I didn't believe in extra. I mean, I felt like there was life out there, but maybe like at like the microscopic level and shit, right? But it wasn't until maybe my senior year of high school where I experienced my UFO, my own UFO experience.
You've had a UFO.
I had a
experience.
UFO
I
experience.
love that.
Yeah, so I was dating.
Hey, is that the body?
That's
Like
the body.
circle?
Yeah.
I see.
Turn your
That
laptop
looks
to
like
show.
a blob.
For the listeners at home, look up Tomato Man, right?
Yeah, I guess the tomato.
Or
Man.
Laredo-
You can look up Laredo UFO crash.
And you should be able to find the pictures of the body. But going back to this, right? In 2016, or maybe 2015, yeah, 2015, I was dating this girl that lived in Concord Hills here in Laredo. So it's past like the Sac area, like
Used
that
to live
little
there.
place, right? And there's a little park. She lived in the neighborhood, and there was a little park by her neighborhood, right? So we decided to walk to that park and hang out. You know, things that high schoolers do.
Right. Yeah.
And it must have been maybe like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., kind of a night like this where, you know, the sky is clear.
Something like a night like we're experiencing right now.
Right. And I remember we were walking across the park, and there was a two-story house overlooking the park, and the window was open, and I was joking that somebody was looking at us, right?
Okay.
And she was already scared shitless. I was like, look, someone's looking at us, right? And then as we're staring up at this two-story window, I see a green light shoot across, do a figure 8 twice, and then shoot away.
No way.
And I was like, that couldn't have been a fucking shooting star.
Yeah, nothing moves like that.
Nothing-
We don't have technology that moves like
Dude,
that.
I was dumbfounded, and I'll never use the word dumbfounded, but I was dumbfounded that day.
Bewildered.
SAT word of the
I
day.
know how fast it moved.
It moved fucking fast.
Like at least 30 miles per hour. Like at least.
No, it moved like maybe like shoom.
Wait,
just
so
little two
I
finger
mean,
it
and
didn't
gone.
even crash. It crashed in Mexico.
It crashed outside of Laredo, but
30
they
miles.
dub it the Laredo
Yeah.
crash.
Oh, okay.
But it's crazy because actually I looked it up and there's a book written about this.
Yeah.
You can find it on Amazon for $9.95 right now on Kindle.
No free
And-
promotions.
and paperback for $12.95. It's called Fallen Angel: UFO Crash Near Laredo, Texas by Noé Torres. I'll read the bio real quick. On July 7th, 1948, U.S. military aircraft chased a fast-moving 90-foot diameter silver disc across Texas before watching it crash about 30 miles southwest of Laredo.
That's just what I said.
Yeah. Oh, you just copied pasted? Okay.
No, I
No,
paraphrased.
true. All right, true. Well, I mean, I also picked up.
Then I'm sure it crashed in Mexico. Then
I crashed 30 miles south of Laredo. The exact.
Southwest, so
See.
that must be Mexico.
Is it?
Well, the southeast is.
I'm not sure.
That's weird.
It could be. I mean, I think there's a show on Netflix. I don't think it's on it anymore, but I think it was like Unsolved Mysteries or Unsolved Case Files, and one of them was the Laredo
The
crash.
cold case files.
No, it wasn't Cold Case.
Oh.
The image of the thing was just like
Unsolved Mysteries?
It might be Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes.
I'm not too sure. I don't know if it's
They
still on
had
there
a
or not.
whole alien episode, actually.
I watched it when I was back in freshman or sophomore year in college.
I'm lying, this just got released like this year.
Oh, okay. No, never mind.
But they did have an alien episode on that.
Well, there was an episode titled "The Laredo Crash,"
Mm-hmm.
and the narrator fucking starts off in the Laredo Crash, and he starts telling the whole story, and he shows the pictures and shit, and I'm like, holy fuck! Like Laredo's on the map for a UFO sighting, or not even a sighting, a UFO crash.
Yeah.
like similar to the one in Roswell.
So wait, and actually the Laredo UFO crash was exactly a year after Roswell.
no
Okay.
way.
Yeah, today.
So for
like,
some
to the
reason,
day.
there's a lot of UFO activity between that era. Like from Roswell onward, like maybe a couple years
So
after.
that's why it's like, what is just the military doing stuff? The military was at its most experimental.
That's what the
during
that's what
40s
the
and
government
50s.
wants you to
Wants you to
think,
think.
dude. The government
wait,
wants you to
let's-
think.
let's
it's
slow
That's
it
just
down.
part of the
We know how
government.
Pacho
Yeah,
feels
you know.
about it. We know how Pacho feels
biased
about
as fuck.
UFOs.
He has to
Cheryl,
hide this.
Cheryl,
Yes.
what do you think about aliens? Are they real or are they not
And
real?
they're absolutely real. Anyone who does not believe in aliens,
There's no way it's not real.
Yeah,
I
no.
want to believe in it though.
There's no way
I
it's not
want
real.
to, but unless I've seen it and I've seen pictures because they've all what a coincidence! After the 40s.
There stopped being
there's
UFOs.
really,
As cameras starting getting better.
As cameras have gotten better, as technology has improved.
I see your point. I see your point.
Where have all the UFO sightings? Where are all the dead UFOs? You get me? What a coincidence! It was
Why did it stop?
Cameras were so fucking shitty.
Well,
I went to the Roswell, New Mexico Museum when
Me too.
I was
I did
was,
too.
10
Me
years
too.
old.
Everyone goes there. You just drive by it.
And they have the McDonald's
Everything is UFO.
the
If you ever
McDonald's
go to
is a
Roswell,
spaceship.
New Mexico,
Yeah.
everything is aliens
I
on
need
it.
to go
They
there.
really
Yeah.
embrace
They
the fuck
it.
out of
Yeah,
it.
so
You're like, yes.
So
Yeah.
that,
Love
that's
aliens.
my that's why I'm so skeptical. Why, when technology improved, we didn't see stuff like that. It's the same with
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
I don't know.
To be
No,
honest.
I
Bigfoot.
don't know about. You believe in.
I
Bigfoot.
think
Hey.
Bigfoot still has sightings. I'm
Yeah,
not 100% sure.
But
Hold on, let's pause for a
What?
second.
We're another technical difficulty really
Do
quick.
do the same thing you did.
We
White
sang-
girls.
Oh no, the camera's actually off completely. Turn it on.
Is there
Unless
like
the
a
battery
time
died.
where it just closes? Closes, turns off.
Okay, now record.
Okay.
And we're back. Damn.
Back from a quick break.
So,
Go.
weird.
After, once technology improves,
Fuck, I'm gonna have to do editing.
we haven't really seen much sightings. You get me?
I get where you're coming from.
So that's why I feel like it's either fabricated or it's either because there's not enough evidence and there must have been some sort of testing and stuff like that.
Now-
because I will, but if you show me a UFO crash in 2020,
it's not gonna happen.
I'm probably
No.
gonna believe you.
No, it's not gonna
But
happen. Let me
because it
tell you why.
happened in the 40s, no.
It's not gonna happen, and let me tell you why. The aliens know that we've become more advanced.
Or the
There-
government knows.
There's this whole fucking show called Ancient Aliens.
That's
where-
fake.
Oh.
The aliens did not build the pyramids.
Of
were
course they
smart
fucking
enough-
did.
No,
Bro.
they were smart enough to do. That's actually very racist towards the Aztecs,
Ooh.
thinking that they didn't have the technology.
Hey, that's racist towards my people, ese.
They didn't have the technology.
Have you seen
They
that?
didn't
Have you seen the end of
technology.
Apocalypto?
They were not
All
smart
right, let me
enough to do the
fucking finish the
pyramids.
theory right here, real quick.
Fine.
Back then, those are ancient people. They didn't know what the fuck. If they saw a spaceship come down, they're like, "That's God."
Yeah.
That's God. I'm gonna worship you. Now,
What? They had their own God.
bro?
That's
That
ignorant.
no, you're not getting it, Pacho. You're
But
not
it's
fucking getting it.
unworldly.
Dude.
They wouldn't
It's
even
other,
know.
dude. You see
what it
you
is.
see a UFO fucking come down as a fucking ancient Indian that has no idea what the fuck's happening. You're
Yeah.
like, Allah, let me pray to that.
As
dude.
an ancient native.
Ancient
Ancient
native.
native.
Well, it's 'cause
Oh.
also Indian though. A lot of Indians in India.
Okay, cool.
There's
If that
UFO
was the
sightings.
point, then they
I'm
would-
not finished. When
They would have mentioned the UFOs and stuff like that as the gods, but they
don't.
didn't.
They don't know that it's a
Even if they
UFO.
drop
They
by
mention
now,
it
I'd
as
be like-
eagles or some shit because that's what they perceive it as or whatever,
Yep.
right? But let me get to you.
Go.
So as humanity evolved and got smarter, and now we're kind of extrapolating and thinking the idea of UFOs, aliens are like, nah, they're onto us. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna visit
So you're
anymore.
saying we're being watched?
I'm saying we're being monitored.
Okay, I have something
No,
similar.
I'm
I have something similar. The government
It
released.
pisses me off how much of a skeptic you
Honestly,
are. Like for
yes.
real. Like
No,
Aliens
I get
have
it.
to
I
be
get it
real.
because you're military
because
and they
he-
tell
no,
you shit that you can't tell us.
You were
Right, it's
brainwashed.
hiding
No,
it.
but he's
Bro,
thinking
you were brainwashed by the Coast Guard.
what if this pebble was an alien or what if
I'm not saying a
No, but
pebble's an
no, but
alien.
the
That's
thing
a
is-
rock.
No, but you're like the
a
thing is
boulder.
you're making it seem like those people, the Aztecs and stuff, were not smart enough to understand these things. Like if that was the case, they would have drawn stuff like that
They
resembled
did.
aliens.
I'm
and stuff,
pretty
though they
sure-
didn't.
So what? Yeah, they did.
Here's-
There's fucking images of discs in their fucking thing.
Here's my take. Okay.
Show me those discs.
Here's my take.
Have you seen Prometheus?
Was it? I believe in was it last year? The government, or right when everything was hitting the fan about COVID and
It was
2019.
this year.
It was this year, right?
Yes.
The government released the case that UFOs exist, but that doesn't mean aliens. It means unidentified flying objects, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I feel.
But what else could it be?
Okay, well, yes. What else could it be? But I feel like the government maybe knows, or obviously, if aliens are an advanced race that's able to travel between planets and universes and galaxies and shit, right? Then they're obviously smart enough to use Twitter, and they're smart enough to check our social medias and know that we know too much, you know? So I think the reason why, well, yes, part of it goes to what you're saying about like the military's most experimental time was the 40s and the 50s. I think a big part of it also is that nowadays the government knows that we're more aware, or we're less easy to convince that it was an accident.
Actually, we're probably more easy to convince now than ever.
Look at this. Look at this image of a cave drawing. Look at this image of a cave drawing
Hit 'em
and
with
tell
the evidence,
me
guys.
that dad don't look like a spaceman, bro.
like a spaceman. Like you don't even know what an alien looks
Look
like.
at that.
This is what it looks like.
It's got a helmet. That thing's got a helmet. They didn't have helmets in ancient times. Why would some?
Yes, they did.
Why would they have helmets in
They
ancient
had
times?
helmets to battle in war.
That's
and
not
stuff
a
like
battle
that.
helmet. That's an air breathing helmet.
I want all the listeners, of Your Neighbors G, if you have any experience with the extraterrestrial, tweet at us, DM us.
No, but this is where I might be on your side
Go.
a little bit.
Might.
So
I'm
when
pissed
people
already.
like
I'm
you say the
pissed.
most ridiculous things, we're beefing right now. I'm beefing especially with Gus. Right
I see.
now.
I'm not
If
beefing.
people like y'all
I'm
say the
beefing.
most ridiculous things, like I'm thinking, y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Dude, they're
one
probing
time,
you.
One time when I was in the military, there was this like crackhead lady on the beach, and she was like, "The Russians, they always fly here. You can see their boats here by the coast of California." I'm not lying, and me and my buddies were like, "You're a fucking crackhead. Get the fuck on my foot. Like, this lady's fucking weird."
Yeah.
And like 2 years later, the military, like the U.S. government was like, "Oh, the Russians have been like, we've spotted like Russian submarines off
She
the
knows
coast of
what's up.
California and stuff like that." I'm like, this fucking lady right now, like
She
she was
knew.
telling the truth.
So
the whole
you
time.
think I'm crazy right now? I'm not crazy, bro.
I
Hey,
think
the crackheads are like amazing.
I'm
No.
not. They have
No,
superpowers. No,
they
they
do.
have
No, they do.
superpowers.
Have
No,
you
they
not
don't.
seen the way they like jump off the damn highway and
Yeah,
they like
they have superpowers.
land?
But
They
that's just
They have
because they don't
superpowers
have.
when they're on drugs.
It's because they don't have any they don't have any inhibitors, so they're not risk. They don't know that they're risking their body. So they don't
think,
care.
Okay,
But
I think aliens are real. Maybe they're among us. Maybe they're not. But I know that for
I
a
think
fact,
they're among us.
They're definitely real. They're definitely among us in Monterinas.
What if you're an alien? What if Cheryl's an alien?
We would
What
never
if
know.
I'm
Guys,
the- Why if
Yeah.
I'm so?
Dude,
so
you're
skeptical?
you're so
I'm the
sus
He
alien
doesn't
right
want
now.
to blow his cover. He doesn't
You-
want to blow his
Emergency
cover.
meeting.
you know, this goes back to one of my favorite things for anyone who's ever played Fallout. Right, this is a video game where Fallout.
okay.
There's a storyline in Fallout where it's a nuclear fallout and it's the end of the world and post-apocalyptic, right? And there's people, and then there's also like an institute, like a government institute that they're making. What do you call
The
those
synths.
They're making synthetic people, right? So they steal you as a child, or they steal you and they replace you with the synth. And the idea is that you're raised as a kid. You're a synth kid that's raised by a human family, so you develop human emotions. What if there's aliens or babies here that have been swapped out and are actually like alien babies, and they're raised by us, taught by us? Showed our culture and everything, and they've intermixed with us without us ever knowing.
It's
Like a
because
Russian spy?
Like a Russian spy.
It's because, dude, there's so many fucking theories. It's because
But for what purpose, may I ask?
You know what? The thing is, I don't know what the purpose of what extraterrestrials want with us, other than maybe like resources.
mean,
Because
Experiments.
that's what's I think. I feel like y'all want to believe in something, so y'all create these
No,
stories.
it's
No,
just, dude,
no.
no,
You're
sta-
not speaking for us. We're saying
statistically
we believe in
speaking,
it.
this universe is way too big
Thank
for it
you.
not to have life.
Yes.
No, I think that there
Other
is
life besides
but
this.
but I need like hard
You
proof.
can't. The proof is in the numbers. I don't need you. I don't need to show you a
Okay,
picture.
Ben Shapiro. I need to know like
I don't
get it.
need to show you a
until
picture.
until the day we can bring Pancho an alien. He's not gonna believe it.
I'm
Honestly, I'm like, does this count?
No.
Does this?
But I
really
bet you-
count?
Oh my god!
I bet you somehow, someplace, somewhere, some government official, some high-ranking military man, or some scientist knows what's really going on in this
Or
world.
guys, even
But
Pancho.
have you seen the Bob Lazar documentary?
Oh no, my friend Ed was telling me about that.
Dude, the
one.
Bob Lazar documentary. It's Bob Lazar was a scientist. He's a scientist at Area 51. He was working on actual crashed and recovered UFO ships. I think there were 6 or 9 of them. I'm not too sure. But some of them were actually archaeological digs. So they dug the UFO out of the ground. So the UFO crashed and was like a fossil, basically, of a UFO. And they've been trying to reverse engineer them, like to try to get the propulsion systems going. Apparently, there's this element that we don't have here on Earth that they would use as their energy source. And this guy Bob Lazar was actually, his house got raided by the FBI and the CIA multiple times because he had files on this kind of stuff. And It's this whole fucking thing. I'd highly just recommend watch the documentary and watch the Joe Rogan podcast where he interviews him.
But watch our podcast first.
Yeah, like because we have a better take on it.
Yeah.
No, but Bob Lazar, he worked on the propulsion systems of these UFOs. But everything is very high security, compartmentalized. Nobody knows the full picture. Everybody just knows a piece.
I definitely think they're hiding things from us. They have to exist.
I feel like they are.
To.
But the thing is, I want to see it. Like,
Yeah. No, you're not wrong for saying that. You're not wrong for wanting the proof. I want the proof. We all want the proof. But the thing is,
we actually believe that.
But
And I know that we're right. Like,
but we won't get the proof until we're ready. And I'm thinking 2020 might be the year where we get some
a
fucking
lot
proof.
of shit has been happening this
bro,
year.
at this point,
I wouldn't be surprised if an alien made itself known.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Trump takes like he's like I'm an alien.
He's been the lizard guy the whole. I'm
dude.
the fucking lizard
And
king.
all our politicians are lizard people. You know that, right?
That's another.
You know Henry Cuellar is a lizard, right?
We are scaring him.
No, that's another conspiracy
That's why, like,
theory.
his face, like, his thing, like, he's like...
Sometimes he goes like this because like the mask is coming off.
Yeah.
Like, no.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know
Like,
that.
Jessica Cisneros was trying to defeat the lizard people. But
Dude.
they were too powerful, so she lost.
okay, are you fucking with me or
No,
you,
dude.
I feel like you're
Henry
fucking
Cuellar
with
is
me.
literally the lizard people. So why do you think, like, him, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and stuff like that, they're all good friends? Because they're all lizards. Donald Trump is also one of the people who is trying to expose the lizard people. Okay?
Fonz's face.
That's why
You're
November
serious.
3rd,
Yeah.
if you hate lizards, you vote for Donald Trump. I'm kidding.
Dude,
There's like an actual conspiracy theory about like...
I was low key. I don't know how sarcastic you were being.
bro, I done shook Henry Cuellar's hand, bro. Had you would have told me he was a lizard person, I would have done something about it.
Yeah.
No,
He would have been like examining his hand.
Like, he's a gecko, dude.
I would have put him in a headlock. Are you a lizard?
There's legitimate conspiracy theories that our government is run by lizard people or like high members of society are lizard
getting-
people.
I'm
I've
kidding.
never heard
Because
this
in
conspiracy.
in high school, I would like look at them, and there was like the conspiracy theory about the FEMA camps, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, FEMA's gonna fucking
The Walmart FEMA camps?
FEMA is gonna abduct us all in like 2011, 2012. It's already 2020, dude, and I'm here."
Maybe they took us and we're in the
And then,
simulation.
like the lizard people too, because like
Fuck, we're in the Matrix, bro.
all the conspiracy theory people, like when Obama became president, they were like, "He's the Antichrist."
I remember,
I remember that.
He's a lizard.
He's a girl. People said Obama was
And
transgender.
no, that Michelle was transgender.
Oh, yes,
I heard
yes,
that his
yes.
daughters weren't even
That
their
his
daughters.
son-
Yes,
that
that
is-
one I heard.
That's
I didn't
another that his kids weren't even theirs. They're from
People
someone
make up the
else's.
weirdest
That
shit.
they, like, just
Kids
got
say
them
the
so they-
darnest things.
They're
Yeah,
actually
bro.
ours.
And like they would show pictures of like Obama's like lizard skin like accidentally showing.
Dude,
and stuff
Photoshop.
like that.
Dude, there's so many conspiracies that we're gonna talk about, and I guarantee that we're gonna talk about more on this
Yeah.
podcast. Not this episode, but in future
So
episodes.
if you're a lizard person,
Please make yourself known.
Yes.
please comment below.
Right.
Just comment a picture. We want to see it.
Yeah.
All right,
We'd like
I-
to see it.
I'm killing the ambience music, and I think we should say our
I-
final plugs.
Yeah. Before we end, I got a couple of local shout outs that I definitely want to give out. So again, if you're a local business, local entrepreneur, or you want some exposure, talk to us. We're cool. We're willing to see what's up. So the first ad I have today, this is for Pixie Girl Co. So what's up, guys? Want to give a huge shout out to a local business, my friend Giselle's very own Pixie Girl Co., which is at Pixie Girl Co. On Instagram. She specializes in making custom stickers of anything you want / need, but also makes makes what I think is one of the coolest decorations anyone can get. So she does music plaques where she'll pick like a song from Spotify. Right?
Okay. Oh, those.
Yeah, she does like the songs from
Oh, those are
Spotify,
cool.
and she adds the title and everything. She frames it for you, and she ships it out to you. I know she does. She's based in San Marcos, but she does do shipping. So if you guys want to get a nice little plaque or get some badass stickers, once again at Pixie Girl Co. on Instagram, and check her out. And then also I want to give another shout out to our good friend Cassie Villafranca.
Woo!
Right?
I love Cassie.
She's awesome. Dude, I told her I was going to give her a shout out.
Oh, nice.
Last time. And then what's cool, too, is she's the only person I know that remembers Zabumbafu.
I remember Zaboomafoo.
Oh. Well, she's the only person that remembers Zabumbafu.
she's the only person that I like that
that remembers
remembers Zaboomafoo.
Zabumbafu. So, Cassie, you're listening. We love you.
Wait, can I give a shout out?
Yeah, give a
Yeah,
shout
give a
out.
shout out.
I'm going to give a shout out to my girl because I haven't, and she's gonna kill me if I don't. Daniela,
Oh,
our girl.
We love Danny.
We love Danny.
And Adrian.
Female
And
fauna.
Adrian, because they are nothing without each other. Honestly, they come in the package. So,
Dope.
hi Danny, I love you.
All right. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram at Garage Society Co. At our Twitter at Your Neighbor's Garage, and follow us on Spotify. Click follow, please, so you can get notified of when new episodes come out.
Mm-hmm.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Your Neighbor's Garage, so you can see the video podcast as well. And with that, I'm gonna sign us off and play a little classic, a little throwback, and we're gonna kind of sing it for you guys.
I know Gus doesn't know this one.
I don't know, but I don't know if you want to share your headphones with
I feel like
Cheryl.
the song's overrated.
Share your headphones with Cheryl. The other way, dude.
Oh.
You use the other one.
The song's
Aw.
overrated.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Well, I tried to tell you so, but I guess you didn't know. As the story goes, baby, now I got the flow. Cause I knew right from the start, baby, when you broke my heart, that I had to come again and show you that I'm
Okay,
real.
with the phones.
All those times I said that I love you, you lied to me. Yes, I tried, you lied to me. Even though I knew I died for you, you lied to me. Yes, I cried, return of the man. Motherfucking return of the man.
I can't play too long because then we're gonna get copyrighted. All right, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys, I'll see you next week.
In 2 weeks. No, I'm kidding.